Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be having a closer look at some of the paints that I use regularly for my tutorials with you, and which I'm not reluctant to share by any manner of means. This painting here is a sky, it's just the sky. I haven't done anything in the foreground yet, but I thought you might like to see it because this was a very simple sky, very easy to do, and I can show you how to do this. But I just did it with Meeden paints, and I just wanted to say that it is absolutely remarkable actually how good these paints are. I can't remember exactly how much they are, but I think they're about $15 for a set of 24. So if you pop over to either meedenart.com and have a look on there, or else search for them on Amazon. If you use our discount on their website, you get 15% off if you just put in Diane 15 for any of their products. So, you know, that's something that we've negotiated for you. But I was actually quite surprised because I was in the process of preparing a painting, and this is one of my preparation ones I have here. This is very bad, and this one is slightly better. And hang on. This one, where is it? Yes, it's got glass in it, so you can't see it very well. But that one is going to be one of the new videos that's going to be going up for members of YouTube. If you become a member of our YouTube membership thing, which they don't seem to have given a name to, we're going to be putting up some extra content for you on YouTube, and I'm going to go into a bit more depth about how to paint skies and things. And so I was working on that, and I was so impressed with that. I thought to myself, oh, you would think I'd used professional paint for that, wouldn't you? And then I sort of went on a bit further, and I mixed up these colours. And these 6 colours here, which are all completely different from each other, those 6 colours are mixed from just burnt sienna and ultramarine, and you can get all 6 of those colours easily. And isn't that amazing? I think that's amazing. Anyway, I will show you also on the membership videos how to do that, and more information to come on that. It's not happening just yet, but it will be soon in the new year. Yeah, anyway, so they can go over there, and I've been swatching and stuff. So what I wanted to do was talk about paint a bit and then do a painting. So this is a swatch. I've just swatched out these colours in this order because I've put some of the tube paints into this palette, which is a great one for carrying around with you because it has a nice clip on the side there. It's plastic, so it's light. It's big, but it's not heavy. It's got a mixing tray here. I'm sure other people have shown you this. So you've got 2 big mixing areas, which is brilliant. That's what you need if you're going to paint. And yeah, so there's that. But I also, this is the box. They're tubes. And somebody said the other day, another tutor, and I thought, oh, who was it I was listening to? I can't remember now, but it was somebody very important. I can't remember who it was. It was a chap. But anyway, he said, and this is very true, and I've always painted with tube paints. I never used to use block paints at all until I started this channel. But people always say, oh, what's the difference? And other people say, oh, there isn't any difference. But, you know, there is because, and it's this one that this chap said, it wasn't me, I didn't make this up, but this chap said, he said, if you are painting, right, it's always a good start, isn't it? If you're painting, right, and you, let's say, you pick up a bit of paint. If you're working with tube paint like this, you squeeze it into your palette and it's nice and soft. And so if you want to paint thick, you just dip in. You don't have to mess around. If you're using a pan paint, of course it's dry, really, quite dry actually, and you don't get the same effect. And he's quite right. It's true. I can't find the other thing I was looking for now. I really ought to tidy up, shouldn't I? Then I wouldn't have this problem of not finding what I'm looking for. Anyway, you know what I mean. So you've got a little pan and you have to scrabble around to make it wet. But if you've got all your paints nice and damp, you can really be more expressive. And I think that's what he was trying to say. So that said, let's, this is the palette order that way around that I've got this in, and I'm going to put the colours into this swatch book, which was kindly sent to me by Lightwish, and it's got sections. They look like this when they're fresh. You put the name of the paints up here, and then the names of each individual colour and the pigment number if you like. These ones from Meeden actually are quite nice because they all have their pigment number written clearly in large enough writing on the tube so you can see what you're doing, which is always good. And it's quite handy actually to have the pigment numbers. Although you might not want to be a pigment expert, you might find it moderately interesting to see. PY6, pigment yellow 6, is white. And we have here pigment white 6 and pigment blue 15, which makes cerulean blue, right? Cobalt blue is pigment white 6 with pigment blue 29, and pigment blue 29 is ultramarine. So cobalt blue is just ultramarine and white, right? And cerulean blue is just white and pigment blue 15, which is, there it is, it's phthalo blue. Phthalo blue, yeah. So phthalo blue and white makes cerulean, and ultramarine and white makes cobalt. So guess what? You don't actually need cerulean and you don't actually need cobalt, because all you have to do is add white to ultramarine and you get cobalt, and add white to phthalo blue and you get cerulean. So isn't that interesting? Well, it could be if you're into that kind of thing. Lemon yellow. So let's take some lemon yellow, and they recommend you do it quite thickly if you're using this this system. I'm not going to bother to try and keep inside the lines too much. If I go outside the lines, no one's going to be upset. So that's lemon yellow. Then this is pale yellow. And to tell you the truth, I can't see what colour it is at all because I've got a light on my paper, and to see it, I have to stand up and look down from above. Right, and then gamboge, which is this one here. That's a nice warm yellow, and that's transparent, that one. So we can, and then we've got yellow ochre, which is a nice earth colour. And this is a good way, it is a good way of doing it, really, having a book like this, because, you know, you can quickly look at them and say, oh, yeah, that's what the Meeden orange yellow looks like, for example. So then we're at scarlet red, which is this one. Pillar box red, as we used to call it. Not what it really is. And then vermilion is this. You can see the difference in these two between the bluish red here and the orangey red here. This is pigment red 21, and this is pigment red 21 plus pigment orange 13, which is this one, which is orange yellow, pigment orange 13. So that colour mixed with that colour makes that colour. So, you know, I mean, we used to call this, hello Arthur, why are you sitting on my chair? Convenience colours, because they're ready mixed for you. So that's basically what they are. But when I first learnt to paint, we were allowed to have 12 colours and that was it. Yeah, and you had to mix all the blends. So that's rose, and this is crimson, which is pigment red 21 plus pigment red 13. And pigment red 21, as we said, was scarlet red. And pigment red 13 is, haven't got there yet, I don't know. But it's only one other colour. Then we've got cerulean blue, which, as we said, was phthalo blue mixed with white. And you can see that really because phthalo blue is this one. Phthalo blue, phthalo blue, phthalo blue. Where are you, phthalo blue? PB 29, no, PB. I'm gonna, oh, same as there, I'm gonna put down here. I think that's Prussian blue, but it's the same thing. So you can see how this is what happens when you add white to that. It goes slightly opaque for one thing. And that's what's going to happen with the cobalt blue as well, which is ultramarine mixed with white. And then, so that's ultramarine mixed with white. So if I go down here to ultramarine and then put that in, you can see that's much more transparent. Prussian blue is here. And then we've got sap green, which is this one. I don't know if I want you sitting on everything, Arthur. And then we've got pale green, which is this one. And then we've got deep green, which is this one. And, oh no, wait a minute, that's that one. And then phthalo green is this one. And brilliant purple is this one. Now these paints are pretty good, and if you want something to paint with, to make cards or just fun bits of play, or if you're going to do them for things like what do you call it, junk journaling and things like that, for doing pictures and things to go inside junk journals, things that are going to not be exposed to the light, for example. This is burnt sienna. Then really, I don't know how light fast they are. They say they're pretty light fast. Raw umber is this one. It's a dark brown. So you've got everything you need and a bit more really. And burnt umber is this one. And personally, I like painting with tube paint, but if you don't like it to be so soft and wet, then you can just squeeze it out and let it dry and then come back to it after it's dried and wet it and make it wet again. So, you know, anything is possible. And there we have black. It's a nice dark black, very intense. And we've also got white here, but of course, even though I might put that on, you can't really see it, only where it's going over the black line. But I think that's quite, you know, quite powerful, that is. If you mix that white with a little bit of ultramarine, you get a nice powder blue. If you mix that white with a little bit of rose, you get a nice pink. So you can use the white and make all sorts of, you know, nice girly colours. That's lilac. I suppose you could go with white and a little bit of orange. And if you added a little bit of yellow to that, you'd get a nice peachy colour. Or skin tone. So this is the thing, you see, you can mix whatever you want. If you go with ultramarine, and a little bit of burnt sienna, and you mix those together, you can get all sorts of nice greys, which are perfect for clouds. And you can get lovely soft pinkish colours, every possible shade of grey. Put a bit more blue in that. A little bit more blue. And the brown just softens the blue. Takes it away from that bright ultramarine. If you don't want it too bright and you want to put shadows on something that's bluish. So these are all made from just two colours, and you could do that with lots of combinations, but particularly good one and quite an unusual one, and a lot of people don't know about it, is burnt sienna and ultramarine, which makes beautiful greys. Okay, so we've spent a bit of time talking about these paints and paints in general and colours and colour mixing and so on and so forth. And I'm going to paint a couple, with any luck, if I can get around to doing two. I'm going to paint some blobby birds, and we're just going to chuck some colours on the paper here and keep our fingers crossed. And I've got some little bits of colour mixed up here. I've got lights on me at the moment, and I'm not enjoying that very much because my eyes kind of go strange. So I'm not sure if I want to continue using lights, but it's so dark at the moment here. The weather has been without sun, completely without sun now for, well, since we got back from Egypt, basically. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to I'm just going to pencil it in actually. I've put a little bunch of colours in, which are basically pastel colours, which I have previously mixed up. I showed you myself doing that, didn't I, in the palette where I added white to the different colours. So, and now I'm just outlining the eyes of this bird, and then I'm going to paint round. And that's basically what I did in the other one. And this one, I'm going to put the wings in, first. So he'll be different. They're always different. Every single one is different. And we'll just do something like that with wings coming out using this blue. And allow this to run into it, doesn't matter. And we could pop a little tail in here, down the bottom, any old shape. Definitely struggling with the light. And then we need to leave that to dry. And then we'll come back to that one in a minute. And meanwhile, I will pop over to another piece of paper. That's hot press, so we'll see the difference. This is cold press. And so when I come in with my colours, you'll probably see how they look a little bit different. But I will use different colours anyway, so I'm going to use a bit of rose, I think, here. And let's do this one leaning over to the side. I'm not terribly keen on that colour. A bit more blue in there. And And perhaps we put a little bit of green under here, just make it nice and pretty. Going to have the beak here, and we'll put his eye in here. And if you haven't left a space for the eye, a couple of things you can do. And one thing is you can take a piece of tissue paper, not tissue paper, a tissue, and just go like that, and you can dab out a circle for the eye. And then if it's still not white enough, you can come in with your acrylic, your Artex acrylic marker, and make a nice white there. So that we will leave like that. I'm going to get my hairdryer. Okay, so then what I'm going to do next is just emphasize the colours a little bit. So come in with a bit more pink here. And a bit more blue. And we'll let that dry. And then same thing here. This is cobalt blue. And you'll see the completely different effect of colour on the two different kinds of paper. Yeah. And we're just loosely, very loosely putting the colour in position. We'll put a bit of orangey pink in there, perhaps. And pop in a bit of a beak. Okay, and then a bit more hairdryer. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one aside for a minute, and I'm going to work on this one first of all. And what I did here at this point, I took a 0.5 pen. Maybe I'll use, or a 0.3 maybe I'll use. Let's just try this out. Yeah, there's a 0.3, quite fine. This is a Pigma Micron. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go round the eyes like this, loosely and irregularly, like that. And then we will do some squiggly lines around the outside, sort of loops like this. Sort of, you can see what I'm doing. It's hard to describe it, actually. Irregularly spaced and shaped. And then I'm going to basically do an ink drawing over the top of my paint sketch. And we're going to give him eyes up here. It's kind of cute when they look up. Something like that. And then we need a beak. And I've got a brush pen here, which is dark, to do the eyeball, the pupil with. So we'll just do that. That helps cover quickly when you need it to, but don't go too bonkers with that. And then we're going to put some colour in his beak. Let's find a small brush. Pick up a bit of orange. And then we'll let that dry and come back and emphasize the colour a bit. And meanwhile, we'll come back in here and strengthen that up a little bit. Don't make it too neat. And then maybe a bit of turquoise mixed in with the blue. And I'm going to do the legs now with the pen. So I'll do it similar to what I did here. So maybe we'll make them a bit shorter. Perhaps we'll give them some little knees. Some toes. And then, yeah, okay, I need to just emphasize the shape of the tail here. We'll have to let that dry. Meanwhile, we'll go to the outside edge and we'll do some floofy bits, sort of little sticky out feathers as if it was a baby bird. And put some more up top here. There's so many different ways you can embellish this, and then we can do some more hairs. No, not hairs, feathers coming out like that. So many different ideas. And when that's dry, I think that is dry down here, we'll just put some shadow in underneath. I'm not sure if that's dry. Let's just whack it with a hairdryer. A little bit of shadow on the beak like that, and then we can come up here a little bit more now it's dry. You can emphasize the round shape of the body a little bit by curving your shadow lines like that, and you can change his expression just by adding eyebrows and stuff like that. And, you know, it's amazing how little you need to do to change the whole appearance of the thing. And so I think I'm going to stop here and call that a day. And that's very easily done, something like that. He's quite cute, and using smooth paper is definitely quite easy, I think. And then this one we're going to start the same way. We'll go around the eye like that, and we'll give him, I'll do the eye first, because sometimes that gives you personality. And we'll leave the light quite near the top. So something like that. And then we'll go around again. And have a big beak. I'm going to basically draw the bird in. Like I say, you're going to get a completely different effect because you've got rough paper. This is actually cold press. It's not actually rough, but it is rougher, much rougher. Oh, I was going to say you can put like embellishments on there, like I did on this one, using the white pen if you want to, and just put dots and things on to make them look completely crazy. Or you can not bother if you don't want to. So we put a little wing in here, perhaps. And I'm going to put legs coming down to the side like that. It's pretty the way the colour has kind of spread and bled and joined and mixed and mingled and all the rest of it. I think this one we'll just give him some nice straight legs. Like that. And then you could, we could do some spatter on this one. And to do spatter, you can either use a brush or you can use a toothbrush. Doesn't really matter. Perhaps I'll use a brush. If you've got one with a long hair to it, like this one, that gives you a better spatter. So I will just try it out on something. And let's use blue, maybe, turquoise. Yeah, that's perfect, that'll be fine. So we'll just pick up some more. And then perhaps we'll a little bit of blue around there. Maybe we might want to put a little bit more blue in here, his tail. Smooth that out a little bit. And we have the green. If you're looking for other ideas for this, you might want to search for hashtag paintabirdaday. Paintabirdaday is a series of paintings that we did last year and the year before, and you'll find lots of ideas on our website and on YouTube. So if you just search Diane Antone Studio Paint a Bird a Day, and Blobby Birds, that's the other thing, Blobby Birds, we've got those as well. And yeah, so do give it a try. They're really easy. The biggest video we've ever done was 3 very, very, very simple birds, and I think it's got 500,000 views now, which is quite a lot for us. So yeah, you can, you know, sky's the limit really. Oh, and we've got our Blobby Bird mugs as well for sale as on our shop, in our shop, on our website, or actually on YouTube too. So I think it's time to stop, and I hope you enjoyed that rather lengthy sort of thing. If you become a member, as I said at the beginning, if you become a member of our YouTube membership, then we will be going into more details about how to paint realistic skies and, you know, skies like this and stuff like that as part of a sort of set of more traditional watercolor kind of tuition, because I think there is a need for it and a demand for it, but it's not easy to necessarily do it actually for the general public. So those of you who really want to learn, if you decide you want to join and have some extra tuition sort of thing, in exchange for your membership, which is not very expensive, check out the YouTube membership, and this will be coming soon, I promise. Certainly at some point at the beginning of January. And I will wish you all a happy new year, since it's the day before 2025 begins. And thank you very much indeed for all of your support over the last 4 years, which seems to have flown by in a flash. And looking forward to many years to come here with you on YouTube. So I'll let you all go and enjoy your New Year's celebrations if you're having any. And if you're not, I hope you have a good night's sleep. And I'll see you again soon. Bye now, everybody. Bye-bye.